Hello, and this is Britt with the Temple of Mercy. This has nothing to do with the band, so I don't know why I introed like that. It's just force of habit at this point. I am in my den where I spend about probably 99% of my free time because I have my drums here and I have my gaming setup. But I come to you today with a different sort of travel blog idea. Well, not idea, but something different that I'm doing. In 2 days, I'll be heading to Poland. I'm on a very important mission. I don't know if I can say it, but we're gonna be heading to Warsaw, Poland in the winter time. We're gonna be spending New Year's Eve there. We're gonna be spending our Christmas there, but not their Christmas because they are Orthodox Christians and we are not. Ooh la la. And no, I'm not religious, but you know, we celebrate December 25th. They celebrate, I think, January 5th. And Poland is a very religious country, and they understand independence just as much as most Texans. But I'm going to see temperatures that no Texan should ever see in his life. Maybe 0 degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit. I don't know if those are going to be the same. I don't know my Celsius. I don't know what a kilometer is, but we're going to find out. So this is my third attempt into getting into Poland, and hopefully this one's gonna be successful. There's a little thing called the virus that shall not be named. You know the one I'm talking about. So I'm very excited about this. I've never been in a Slavic country before. I've been in Istanbul. I've lived there for 2 months. I was there for Ramadan earlier this year for a secret mission I hope to share with y'all. But Istanbul was absolutely incredible. I love the Turkish people. I was worried about going there at first because I'm like, I don't know, it's right next to Syria. They might want to get me. But I was completely silly, completely wrong. I highly recommend you visit Istanbul. You'll be impressed at how awesome those people are. You walk down the street, down Istiklal Street in Beyoğlu. I said it wrong, I know. But you're walking down the street, restaurants everywhere. You'll have a chef wearing the full chef outfit. If it's not busy, he's out by the side of the road being like, hello, come in, my friend. I cook you this fresh dish. We just got it today. He'll show it to you. And you eat it, and it's incredible. So, I'm excited to fall in love with a different country. Anyways, I don't know what I'm gonna do the next clip, so that's it for now.
Ciężkie czasy legionera, raz, dwa, trzy. Los go gnębi jak cholera, raz, dwa, trzy. Robić dużo, a jeść mało, maszerować jak przystało, raz, dwa, trzy. Druh karabin ciąży w dłoni, raz, dwa, trzy. Magnet o łopatkę dzwoni, raz, dwa, trzy. A przy boku ładownica i manierka powiernica, raz, dwa, trzy. Komendanci rano wstają, raz, dwa, trzy. Żołnierzowi spać nie dają, raz, dwa, trzy. Ledwie zdążył wciągnąć gacie, już na pole smaruj bracie, raz, dwa, trzy. Dawniej były lepsze czasy, raz, dwa, trzy. Bo jadało się kiełbasy, raz, dwa, trzy. Nim znów wrócą czasy syte, to odwalisz dawno kitę, raz, dwa, trzy. Chlebuś dają nam człowiecze, raz, dwa, trzy. Co się starych trocin piecze, raz, dwa, trzy. Rzadkiej zupki się napijesz i dzień cały o tym żyjesz, raz, dwa, trzy. Z czego robią naszą kawę, raz, dwa, trzy. To zupełnie nieciekawe, raz, dwa, trzy. Mięso zaś też krwi człowieka podrży, miałczy albo szczeka, raz, dwa, trzy. Rano ćwiczą nas po szwedzku, raz, dwa, trzy. Cały dzionek po niemiecku, raz, dwa, trzy. A po polsku jeszcze nam dają, tak to bracie nas kiwają, raz, dwa, trzy.
The history of Poland goes back to the folk tale of the three brothers, Lech, Czech, and Rus. There are variations in the story based on which country you are in, but the Polish version says that the three brothers were hunting together, but each of them followed a different creature and they all went different directions. Rus went to the east, Czech went to the west, and Lech traveled to the north. While hunting there, he found a brave eagle in its nest. Upon seeing the eagle with a red sunset behind it, Lech took this as a good sign and settled there, forming a settlement called Gniazdo, or nest in Polish. As such, the Polish coat of arms is a white eagle. The white eagle is a popular symbol of Poland still to this day, and the red in the coat of arms represents the sunset. Poland has had a very unfortunate location in the world. Whenever armies needed to go anywhere across Europe, Poland was always there, in the way, and that's where they would travel through, and armies will do as they do, and they would wreck the place. Even the Mongols, all the way from Asia, would make journeys out to Western Europe, and traveled through Poland and kind of wrecked the place once again. This did not stop Poland from rebuilding many times over, better than before each time. The prosperity and determination led King Jadwiga, that's right, I said king, oh yeah, we're into rights over here, to marry Lithuania's Grand Duke Jogaila, something like that, in 1836, and the friendly relations between the two different countries would eventually form the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth from 1569 to 1795. The rise of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was certainly an influential and cultural powerhouse until its demise due to political turmoil, 100-year wars, typical infighting, and just kind of all, run-of-the-mill stuff of the day. This led to a weakened Poland, and its neighbors had grown strong, so Russia, Prussia, and Austria all moved in, and Poland ceased to exist for 123 years. And although the Polish spirit never died, it did have to keep on fighting, and there were several unsuccessful rebellions to regain its independence. At the end of World War I, United States President Woodrow Wilson created the 14-point treaty, and one of those points was to revive an independent Poland for reasons I have not been able to find an answer to. Perhaps the other European leaders had tried to influence the United States to ensure that an independent Poland was put back on the map, but once again, I am only speculating at this point. This newfound independence would not last, as World War II would break out just a short time later, and Poland would once again kind of be at the center of it. The Nazis and Soviets had agreed to attack Poland and split it up, and after all was said and done, the Soviets ruled over Poland. In the center of Warsaw is the Palace of Culture and Science, which has become iconic with Warsaw, with its beautiful Soviet architecture. But it is controversial, as it sort of is a reminder of the bad times. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, Poland would once again regain its independence that it enjoys today. I arrived in Poland finally, after transferring planes in Istanbul. I could not really explore the city as much as I wanted to since there was a lot of holidays going on, and also COVID kept many things closed. After arriving in Poland, I had to take a PCR test which came back negative and was still forced to quarantine for 14 of my 17 days in Warsaw. The COVID rules changed the day that I was scheduled to land, and I was forced to buy a Polish phone and install a government tracking app on it called Home Quarantine, or Kwarantanna Domowa. The reviews for the app really let you know what to expect, as it is barely functional, but what can you expect from an app that is run by the government and developed in 3 days? This app tracks your location and will send you tasks that you must respond to within 15 minutes. These tasks ask you to take a selfie. If you do not do the tasks, the police will come to your door. If you are napping and miss the task, the police will come to your door. On top of this, the police will also come to your door randomly.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
This is to make sure that you are home and not violating the quarantine, because if you do so, you are fined, the princely sum of 1,000 American dollars. We were unsuccessful at getting the app to ever work on our phones, even after a week of trying and calling non-stop, but we never got it authenticated with us. It really didn't help that the people we were told to call only spoke Polish and not English or Russian. We gave up and the police never checked on us, which makes me say it is probably better just not to even sign up for the app at all. Hello, this is Britt with the Temple of Mercy coming back in again. So, after checking with someone who does PCR testing and people that are in the industry, they don't know what's going on. I checked the Polish government's website again today. I don't even know if I needed to quarantine, so this whole past week may have been for no reason other than being a homebody, just to be a homebody. So we're taking advantage and heading to the Old Town in Warsaw, and we're gonna have some great sights. I'm not used to great Christmas scenes like this, so this is absolutely fantastic. People are friendly. Got some hot wine to keep me warm in these cool weathers. Although, if you're dressed appropriately, you're gonna stay warm and it's not gonna be a problem. I hope you enjoy the sights we got. I'm enjoying them, I'm loving them. Maybe we'll try some street food. And I guess I should also point out, it is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas Eve. And then probably get outside of the house tomorrow, do some more walking, do some exploring, finally get to see the town. I spent most of my time in this small kitchen, which you can see, which really only had a small burner plate to work with and a delightful little electric kettle. And I really enjoyed the tall ceilings. We made our way to Old Town in Poland, which was incredibly fun. We enjoyed some mulled wine, which is a hot wine and perfect in the wintertime. You can have red wine or white wine with honey in it. There was a skating rink in the middle of it, and it lightly snowed on us, which was really pleasant. Holiday music played on as the mulled wine warmed us up. Old Town has had plenty of markets to look at and buy gifts for friends and family, as well as many historical sites. Old Town was constructed in the 13th century and originally survived many bombings and was surrounded by brick walls. During World War II, 85% of Old Town was completely destroyed by the Luftwaffe bombing in a terror campaign that razed the city to the ground. This was in response to the Polish waking up and choosing violence, as they so often do to anybody that comes into their territory. So the Nazis destroyed everything. After World War II, Old Town was once again rebuilt up until the 60s and became a World Heritage Site. In Old Town was St. John's Cathedral. The underground is the only part of Old Town that did not need to be rebuilt. Originally built in the 14th century, it served as a coronation and burial site for many dukes of Masovia. The underground tunnel had connected to the local castle and was built because of an attempted assassination of King Sigismund III in front of the cathedral in the 16th century. The interior is hauntingly beautiful, style of Baroque decoration, but that was eventually destroyed in World War II. Only one wall remained of the original cathedral, and 500-year-old paintings and treasures were forever destroyed. The post-war interior went back to its Gothic style. The cathedral tomb features the tombs of many influential Polish people and politicians. Among those buried here are the Dukes of Masovia, the last Polish monarch King Stanislaw August Poniatowski, the first Prime Minister of Poland, Count Stanisław Malachowski, nobles from the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Polish writer Henryk Sienkiewicz, Prime Minister and composer Ignacy Jan Paderewski, painter Marcello Bacciarelli, and many other composers and musicians who were influential in their times. Someday, maybe the creator of the Witcher series, Andrzej Sapkowski, can make it here, as Poland really, really loves him, and I love him too. Don't we all? Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of exploring today. I have no idea where we're going, except for one important destination later on. But for right now, we're going to be hitting up this beautiful mall behind me. I think it's a mall. It's starting to look a little skinny, so I don't think it's going to be kind of what I'm expecting, like the Galleria in Houston, where it's just this big widespread. It looks more vertical and less flat. So let's see what it's about and see if we actually go inside. I don't know. Kind of just looking around. Finally got some Zvati. I think I'm saying that right. Still learning the alphabet a little bit. Secret mission was successful yesterday. And I'll just go ahead and say it. Yeah, so the big surprise was that I came to Poland because my fiance is doing the K1 visa and she got approved. So we're gonna go finalize one or two things. And we celebrated yesterday. It was fantastic. We got sushi. I fell asleep immediately. Sorry. And I don't know, it was just a good day all around. Everybody's super happy, so hooray! Okay, so I was wrong. This is completely not a mall. It looked like a mall. Okay, we're gonna go to Old Town and we're going to grab some souvenirs, just a few fun things. I wish a lot more was open. All these museums I check up on are closed. I found a few historical places nearby. No telling if they're open because of Omicron, holidays, dumb reasons, poor timing. Kind of a shame, but I hope to get some historical stuff. There's plenty to see and do, but like I said, it's closed.
Hej, tam gdzie zna czarnej wody, siada na koń kozak młody. Czule żegna się z dziewczyną, jeszcze czule z Ukrainą. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy skowroneczku. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy, dzwoń, dzwoń, dzwoń. Wiele dziewczat jest na świecie, lecz najwięcej w Ukrainie. Tam me serce pozostało przy kochanej mej dziewczynie. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy skowroneczku. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy, dzwoń, dzwoń, dzwoń. Żal, żal za dziewczyną, za zieloną Ukrainą. Żal, żal, serce płacze, już się więcej nie zobaczę. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy skowroneczku. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, dzwoń, dzwoneczku, mój stepowy, dzwoń, dzwoń, dzwoń. Wina, wina, wina dajcie, a jak umrę, pochowajcie na zielonej Ukrainie, przy kochanej mej dziewczynie. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy skowroneczku. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy skowroneczku. Hej, 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 sokoły, omijajcie góry, lasy, doły. Dzwoń, 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 dzwoneczku, mój stepowy, dzwoń, dzwoń, dzwoń.
So as many of you know, I am from Texas and I'm not used to weather like this. Seeing all the snow everywhere is really a Christmas miracle. I'm loving it. There's a few things that are confusing me about Poland. So one of the things that confuses me is, like, how do people not slip on the ice all the time? It seems like the city and local property owners kind of throw salt to help people from slipping and whatever. But what I don't understand is how bicycle riders would do such a thing. Ride a bicycle whenever there's ice everywhere. I've fallen on ice before. It is not pleasant, especially on concrete, which seems to always be the case. If there's one thing I have learned about Polish people, it's that they are fast walkers. I'm a very fast walker, but these people, my God, they could be speed walking. They're very good at it. Everybody's been incredibly friendly. One of the things I learned to watch out for was the stone face that happens, where people just kind of keep a stone face. They don't really show happiness. You don't walk around and smile like I always do. It's kind of perceived as maybe you're simple if you do something like that, such as well, walking around and smiling, or even walking around and talking to a camera like I'm doing right now. But everybody's been absolutely incredible. I don't want to say everybody speaks English, but I do want to say you're gonna be all right. To quote Life of Boris, you really should know Polish before you come here. I'm not going to say it's an easy language to learn, but I will say that a few phrases will get you really far. So it's totally worth visiting. I mean, you can find round-trip tickets out here for under $500 sometimes if you plan it right, if you use the right websites, blah blah blah. But since I'm here, I don't know if I would say this is really a tourist city. It certainly seems like an awesome place to live. They have great public metro, lots of shops nearby, lots of things to do. But as far as tourist things, I'm not too sure. Trust me, I'm enjoying myself though. This is nice. I'm enjoying pierogi. I'm enjoying a lot of canned fish. I'm enjoying the snow. It currently feels like 5 degrees outside right now. I think it's temperature of 16 degrees, feels like 5. So 5 is the real number we choose to go with. They do have all these beautiful buildings. They look like little castles everywhere. And I'm really hoping to find some World War II history and stuff, because I mean, it seems like a lot of World War II started here, and a lot of decisive things happened here for the war. I know that this isn't where the war started. I know, blah, 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 all these different little things that might get me torn apart, but for the most part, this was a very important country as far as all that is regarded to. Hey, we have a Dubai restaurant. Oh, kebab Dubai. I didn't get any kebabs when I was in Dubai. I did get hamuli, some sort of cheese. I don't remember what it was called. So my walk around town has not been too productive, which is unfortunate, but I found a little tunnel. Let's check it out. While walking around, I was looking for things to film and, try and get some footage of the trip, because I was dangerously low at this point. I ended up going into an underground metro sort of area, or, well, not really a metro, but it was basically like an underground tunnel that takes you under a major street that had shops everywhere. While I was under there, I saw a coffee maker, and to my surprise, it was a robot. I spent a lot of time trying to go ahead and get some coffee from there, and it was just really difficult because, well, I don't speak Polish, and because I also had a camera in my other hand, and the app just really didn't seem to work all that well. But I kept on struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling, and after about 15 minutes, I finally had my overpriced small cup of coffee. Delicious. Our stay in Warsaw was hitting its end at this point. Our mission at the U.S. Embassy was a success, and we did it just in the nick of time too, as in only 2 months, the U.S. Embassy would be shut down and all interviews would be rescheduled until the summer of 2023. I recorded some thoughts while I was there on my experience, and I don't feel like I got the actual Warsaw experience, which is really unfortunate, as I've said many times, but circumstances, Alright, so our trip here in Poland is coming to an end out here in delicious Warsaw, or Warszawa. I can't really say it, but my Polish has gotten slightly better since I'm here. At least now I can kind of read words and make sense of what day of the week it is. Gotta say, I've had a pretty good time here. I've enjoyed myself. I don't know if it's, I kind of stand with my previous statement where I said I don't know if it's really a tourist city. Maybe that's just my own personal experience, because whenever I showed up during COVID, Omicron, towards Christmas, everything was closed. I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. So maybe that's just my own experience. Maybe there's a lot more to see and do here, but it seems like if you do live here, there's a lot of things to do. Everything is just so convenient. You're never far away from a Żabka or a Cafe Nero, which is certainly an absolute delight. Oh my God, I've been in Istanbul and I thought it was incredible. Wow, I can go to the store and back within 7 minutes. How incredible is that? Out here, wowee. I can go there and back within 4 minutes. Absolute delight. And people have been very nice. Always stop by a Żabka. You're always going to find something there. You're always going to need it. Stop by the Cafe Nero. It's probably the best. Well, actually, I take that back. Costa Coffee is probably the best. Old Town. You must go to Old Town. In Old Town, you will get some mulled wine, and you're going to love it, especially if it is cold outside. Mulled wine is basically like a hot wine. You can get a hot red wine or a hot white wine with some honey in it, or just a regular hot white wine, possibly. I don't know. I think I ordered the wrong thing when I was trying something new, but I just kind of rolled with it because, fuck it, it's alcohol. How can you get this wrong? One other thing I would like to say, Kat is good to go for America, so she will see you there, and I'm ready to introduce y'all to her and have y'all fall in love with her as much as I have.